Hello, YouTube. It's your boy Nathan coming to you to do another recap video. Today we are talking 90 Day to Single Life Season 5, Episode 2, The Act of Tinseling. So we're just going to get on into it. It was a quick episode, but got a good bit to discuss. The first people I want to talk about, we actually met a new couple in this episode. Well, not new, but new for the season. It's Courtney and Colt. Now, remember Courtney and Cole, they were on Hunt for Love. And during Hunt for Love, remember, like, it was a back and forth between, it was like a love triangle between Courtney and Cole and Usman, really. And when Cole had that injury and took a fall in her room when they were at the retreat, he fell and broke his leg, and she was his caregiver. She went to the hospital with him and stayed with him side by side. And they moved back to the United States, and they came back to the States, and Colt moved to Florida to live with Courtney and her parents and stuff while he tries to recover from this leg injury and stuff. So Courtney and Colt. So we seen Courtney wake up basically, and she's getting up. She still lives at home, and her parents are up, and her parents have strict rules and stuff about their house, because Courtney and Colt, I guess, are basically living there rent free and don't have to pay any bills basically. But a big rule in the house is don't adjust the thermostat. Now, Courtney's father likes to keep the thermostat up pretty high, and it's pretty hot, especially being in Florida and stuff. And Courtney, I guess, adjusted it, and it was cooler than what he liked it. And he kept on saying, this is our house, our rules. We pay the bills here, and this is how it goes. And, as much as that maybe inconvenience for Courtney, that is 100% true. It's their house, their rules, and whatever they say goes, basically. So then a disgusting thing happened. Courtney's parents also do everybody's laundry around the house, and they were doing their own laundry, and somehow, some way, Colt's underwear got mixed in their laundry, and they were like, and the mom was like, "Oh my God, what is this?" Basically, and Courtney was like, "Oh my God, no! Oh my God, no!" and everything. So she goes and wakes up Colt, and say, like, you left your underwear in my mom's laundry basket again. And that wasn't the first time that happened, apparently. So Colt wakes up, and they get ready, and then they start talking about their relationship, basically, about what happened in Mexico and where they're at now. The problem with where they're at now is that they really have not been intimate, basically. They've been intimate, but they haven't fully had sex yet. And at the Hunt for Love tell-all, Courtney revealed that Colt has a micro you-know-what and everything, which is kind of embarrassing to say and everything. So, and we all know Colt. Colt has had a habit over the years of cheating and lying and sending pictures of himself to women and stuff. And everybody always asks, how does Colt be scoring all these beautiful girls, from Larissa to Jess to Vanessa to Courtney and stuff and everything? Like, how does he be scoring all these girls and these beautiful girls and stuff and everything? But Courtney said that all of those girls also be reaching out to her all the time, just warning her about Colt and everything because of his reputation. And they had a conversation about that. Just because I did that before doesn't mean I want to do that to you. I really appreciate you taking care of me and your parents and this and that. So they have that conversation, and they get up and they decided to go out with the parents throughout the day to go do some golfing. So Colt rode in the golf cart anyway. He's actually in a wheelchair, basically. Still, he fully hasn't recovered from his injury. So they went golfing and everything, and still talking about, like, their lack of intimacy, basically, and everything. And yeah, there's just not much they can do because Colt is still kind of paralyzed a little bit. They could do a couple little things, but he's not able to, produce and stuff, he revealed little bit TMI information on what they do and stuff instead of Courtney. But when you're injured and stuff, you're not going to have that stamina, just saying. So later, we seen Courtney go out with her girls, and she tells her girls like what it's like living with the parents and Colt and everything. And Courtney revealed that she went through his phone, and there was like a big list of girls that he was messaging, like commenting saying, "Hey, gorgeous," and everything. And she saw one of it and she got really mad and stuff. Now Colt said on Between the Sheets that, yeah, like he had took a picture of himself and posted it on social media, and someone said, "You look good," and I gave him a confidence boost, and he responded, "Thank you, gorgeous, thank you, beautiful," or something like that, and everything. And he said he didn't do it out of make Courtney upset or anything, but just wanted something to little boost his ego, basically, and everything. So there was that. And then we seen Colt talk to one of his friends on video chat, basically, and he told this guy, I think his name was Brian, I forget what his name was, and he told his friend that how he met Courtney and how he's living with her right now and everything. And then Colt revealed something that I think like we know already, but now it's officially confirmed. So Colt had before, and well, we kind of knew this a little bit, like after Hunt for Love. Colt revealed that he met this other girl from Brazil online, and she looks just like Jess. She looks exactly like Jess, basically. And he was planning on going to see her before he went to Mexico to do Hunt for Love and everything. But then, or when he got back from Mexico, but he didn't realize that he was going to break his leg and fall in love with Courtney. So he hasn't, but he revealed that he's kind of still talking to this girl. Rumor has it that he's actually dating this girl now, because I think Courtney and Colt done broke up. Spoiler alert. But I think we already know that. So that's going to be a whole topic of discussion coming up in future episodes. But typical Colt. Every season I always try to root for Colt. I don't know, there's something about it, because yeah, he be scoring all these beautiful women all the time, but then he does them all dirty. Okay, the only person he didn't really do all that dirty, in my opinion, was Larissa and everything. I thought she did him dirty, but from Jess to Vanessa to Courtney, all the matter ones, I feel like he did them dirty, in my opinion. So yeah, but that was Courtney and Colt. Next person I want to talk is Kimberly. Now this is what we wanted to talk about. Last week, Kimberly revealed to us that Jamal is not her only child. She revealed that she has a other son that she put up for adoption named Larry, and then she also has a daughter that she put up for adoption. Throughout the whole week, like, Kim has been on social media, Jamal's been on social media, like, really defending all of this. Now, here's the thing. We are not judging Kim for putting those kids up for adoption. Like, let's make that clear. We're not judging Kim. Like, if she had to do what she had to do, she had to do what she had to do. We're not judging for putting those kids up for adoption. But what we are judging is how she handled it with Jamal. And still, like, the catfishing Larry thing, pretending that she's Jamal and stuff and everything, and not telling Jamal until at a later age and everything. That's what we're judging, in my opinion, because now Jamal is really hurt, and he said in this episode that well, he also said it last week, but when he actually knew about the sister first, and he found out about that he had a sister when he was 12 because he overheard his mom and his grandma talking about it, and he didn't think too much of it at first because he was young, but as he got older, he asked, like, let's try to find her. And Kimberly was just like, no. And then on Between the Sheets, Kimberly said that, when we tried to look for the sister, it was like, at that time, it was like $750 to the adoption agency to open up her file. And she didn't have that money because she said she was working at a dollar store, basically making $7.50, $7.25 an hour and stuff and everything. So, Jamal has just been like really hurt by this, but they talked about it and they're preparing for Larry to come out and visit, and I can't wait to see that. Now, everybody's been saying, and I agree with this, that this storyline is really heavy for the single life, and it is. I think this is like Kimberly and Jamal should have got their own spinoff show to have this story instead of just this being a story, because this is supposed to be Kimberly's single life story, like we seen last week when she was all over the place, basically, and stuff. And then she hits us with this bombshell. So, but yeah, but like I said, we are not judging Kim on putting those kids up for adoption. But what we are judging is how she handled it with Jamal and stuff. And I feel like she is remorseful. She just didn't know what she was doing and didn't know how to do it. And the people, I know she's not intending to hurt Jamal and stuff, but you hurt them more by doing that, because you're scared of what they're gonna do or say and stuff and everything. Well, one, you're the adult and that's your child, so you don't be scared like that. But two, Jamal seems like a really understanding person, but he's more hurt by that she kept this from him for years and did some of these things and stuff. That's what we're judging, and I agree. So I really felt for Jamal in these last two episodes. So we'll see how it all plays out. So that was Kimberly. Next couple I want to talk, or person I want to talk, is my man Gino. Gino, he only had one scene in this episode. It's okay. He got to meet up with Natalie in this episode. Remember last week Gino traveled to DC because I guess Natalie moved to DC for work and everything, and she met up, and they met up at a cafe and everything. And it was a nice little warm welcoming and stuff and everything. They caught up, they talked about what happened and everything. Natalie said, like, I know you weren't the cause of the havoc. You were, but you weren't, but you were, and everything. She said that I shouldn't have gone to that party. And I agree, she shouldn't have gone to that party. But I mean, we didn't know that it was going to turn out the way it did. And I've said this plenty of times back on Happily Ever Afters, that Gino's cousins like really like set that up, like set that up the wrong way for Natalie to get hurt like that and stuff and everything. Now, on Between the Sheets, a couple things was revealed. One, Natalie said that she reached out to Gino after all of that, after she found out that Jasmine was pregnant. So she reached out to Gino just to check on him, because she was just under the assumption after she left that Gino and Jasmine were going to get back together and stuff. But when she found out that she was pregnant, she reached out to check on him and then deleted the message. But he saw that she deleted the message and stuff and reached out to her, and that's how they reconnected. And after the tell-all. And also, they should have never before seen footage of Gina saying, "Oh, we don't have Jasmine here." And she's just like, think before you speak. I don't want to hear that name, basically. And then there was a Jasmine T on the thing. He's like, I'm definitely not getting that. And she's like, what is wrong with you? Stop saying that name and everything. And I've said that everybody, and Jasmine even for once said something good on Between the Sheets about it. It's like Gino, this woman is giving you a second chance and everything. Keep my name out your mouth. Like, you're lucky enough that she's even giving you a second chance. So just move on and keep my name out your mouth. What? You're actually letting him move on? You're not going to you're not sick of the fact he's talking to Natalie? What? I'm surprised, Jasmine. I'm really surprised. So, but anyway, so Natalie says that if she still don't fully trust Gino, but she's willing to like restart, and she's over what happened, but she's going to proceed with caution, basically. And if he wants any kind of relationship with me, he has to be fully honest and everything. So I think Natalie's going to have to really just really like dig into Gino a little bit more and everything, and like get him motivated to like move on from Jasmine. I mean, it shouldn't be her duty to do this, but she really wants a relationship with Gino, and that's what I think he does with her. She's gonna have to really, really help help him emotionally like that, because I still think he's in the rebound stage. Now, granted, Natalie is like someone that he's really interested in because he's not with anybody else, and this is a second chance with Natalie. But I still think, despite all this time, he's still in the rebound stage and just looking for someone to fill the void. Basically, this kind of reminds me of what happened after Colt and Larissa got divorced. When Cole got with Jess and everything, and he did what he did to Jess, but he said that he wasn't fully healed from Larissa. So Gina's going into this relationship with Natalie, but he's still not fully healed from Jasmine. So, so I think like he needs to take a little bit of time to heal before he jumps in a relationship with Natalie. Because I really do want Gina and Natalie to work, because Natalie ain't gonna put up with no nonsense, but she ain't gonna, but she's also not gonna be crazy and abuse him like Jasmine did. So that's just my opinion on that. Now, speaking of healing, let's talk about freaking Sophie and Pedro. Now, Sophie and Pedro. Now, as we know, last week, Sophie, Julia, and Liz are on a girls' trip to the DR, and also for vacation, and for Sophie to spend time with Pedro. This episode, and then we left off last week with Liz like kissing one of Pedro's friends and having a good time with him and stuff, and like Sophie kind of being a little standoffish to Pedro and just a little taken aback about how much he's doing for her and everything. Now, in this episode, we seen a conversation with Liz and Pedro. Liz told Pedro, like, oh, like, you're doing a good job. You're really romantic. I think Sophie really likes you and everything, this, and that. And Pedro asked Liz, like, is she really into me and everything? Because she seems a little off, like last night and everything. And she's like, and Liz said, I think it's just that she's still healing. Like, she's still legally married, just about to get divorced and stuff. And, she's just trying to heal, basically. But she really does like you and stuff and everything. But Pedro took that the wrong way. And we'll talk more about that in a few. Now, Sophie is still like last week she was saying that she appreciates what he's doing for her, but that he needs to just really chill out basically and everything, and like stop coming on so strong and everything. Now, we've seen Sophie and Pedro have like a little breakfast date, and they talked about like where they're at in their relationship. Pedro was under the impression, because Sophie and Pedro like met before, and he's under the impression that they were exclusive. And Sophie's saying that they're not, and that she's single and she can do whatever she wants and everything. And that she said that Pedro, there was another girl that was like ready, she said she wouldn't stop that and everything. And he asked her, well, what about you? There's another guy that was ready for you. And she was like, well, I'm single. And, Pedro's taken a little bit back by it. And he's like, why is she doing my country? I thought we were exclusive prior to her coming here. And her coming here was like the really like spend more time together, and everything. And then they started arguing about like, we never said like we were exclusive and everything. And Pedro feels like that Sophie gave her that impression and everything, and Sophie is saying that she didn't, and they were arguing about that, and like Pedro basically called her a liar and everything. Then here's the thing that's going to start some stuff. Pedro said, I was talking to Liz, and she said that like, made me feel insecure that you're maybe not like ready or something. She did not say that. And I went back to rewatch that just so I wouldn't miss that. She did not say that. She just said that, she really likes you, but, but she's still healing. But she did not say that she doesn't know that she wants to be with you or not and everything. So now Sophie is mad at Liz because she broke girl code and everything. But I personally, after analyzing it, because I know like both Sophie in the past, Sophie and Pedro do exaggerate a lot of things, but in this case, I believe a little bit more with Pedro, because Sophie does lie and Sophie does exaggerate and Sophie does like make it more dramatic than what it really is and stuff. And then she was like, oh, and then she's gonna bring Rob's name into it. Like Rob used to do that to her all the time and everything. But and that was the gist of the relationship. It's just that like it was just a lot of he said, she said and stuff and everything. So I kind of believe Pedro when he says that she really was got the impression that that they were exclusive prior to her going to the DR. So I don't know. It's all gonna fall apart now. Like I said, we all know Pedro is with somebody else, Sophie's with somebody else, and everything. Liz is with somebody else, so it really doesn't matter. But I'm just kind of surprised. I'm just surprised on how the lies and the manipulation out of this, in my opinion. So we'll see how that plays out. And and here's one thing I do want to say though. I did some thinking over the week and after the first episode. Now I'm fine with them, everybody on Between the Sheets, and I'm fine when we get to the tell-all and everything. But if at any point during this season of The Single Life that I see Rob and Sophie together and or Gina and Jasmine together, like what if it's just a meetup just to say hi or a meetup just to break up and argue again and everything. If I see one of those, if I see those two couples together again, I will not cover it. I'm making a decision that I am no longer covering Gino and Jasmine together and Rob and Sophie together at any point. Like I said, I could do with Sophie and Pedro, Gina and Natalie single, maybe even Jasmine and Matt, but not if Jasmine and Matt and Gina are on the same season like it was on Happily Ever, this past season of Happily Ever After. I am sick and tired of the consecutive seasons and only a couple months of a break of Gina and Jasmine, Rob and Sophie, and stuff for the last 3 years. Or, yeah, the last 3 years, basically. It's just really draining with those two couples. It's really draining. I covered them from the moment that we met them, and I am done covering them all together. I'm sick of it. I'm sorry. I'm sick of it. So hopefully, like I said, I could do Between the Sheets, them everybody on Between the Sheets, and when we get to the tell-all, I could do that. But in a regular season episode, if we see Rob and Sophie have a conversation together, or Gina and Jasmine have a conversation together, sorry guys, that's it. I will not do the episode. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But anyway, and enough about that. So that was basically it. We still have yet to meet Vanya in this episode, and I think we'll see Vanya next week. I'm looking more forward to seeing more Gina and Natalie's relationship. Can't wait to see how Colt and Courtney's relationship crumbles and everything. And I can't wait to meet Larry for Kim's other son. So a lot of things coming up. But anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe to my channel. I'll be back on Sunday and Monday to recap before the 90 days. I am going to start watching Love is Blind. I know it came out. I'm going to watch the episodes that came out and see if I like it. If I like it, then I'll do a video in a couple of days before B90 to talk about that. So until then, y'all stay safe and have a good one. Bye, y'all.